5 days to the final debate, and the Clinton campaign has now had to deal with more than a week of embarrassing daily revelations thanks to WikiLeaks. Today saw several more, including a 2008 email about possible ways to attack then-Senator Barack Obama, including Senator Obama's past drug use and his late father's Muslim faith. Here's the exact wording of some of the topics, including, quote, Obama's, note the emphasis on pronunciation, father was a Muslim, and Obama grew up among Muslims in the world's most populous Islamic country. Here they're considering whether he'd be hit on this. And, quote, Obama described his former use of cocaine as using, quote, a little blow. After today learning that the Clinton camp was floating these ideas 8 years ago, we went back to see what happened. What happened when Mrs. Clinton was asked about those nasty rumors about President Obama's or then Senator Obama's faith. Here she is on Meet the Press.
We've already seen Clinton surrogates trying to implant the false idea that Mr. Obama might be a Muslim and perhaps a drug dealer to boot. What is this all about? Well,
beats me, because there's not one shred of truth in what you've just read, and I regret that, because obviously a lot of people have been given information or an impression that is absolutely false.
Oh, wherever could they have gotten that impression from? Joining me now, Carl Higbie, a former Navy SEAL and spokesman for the Great America PAC, and Richard Fowler, a Fox News contributor and senior fellow with the New Leaders Council. Wow. I can't where, Carl? Where could they have gotten the impression that he might be Muslim or might be a drug dealer? Yeah. Oh, wait. Paul Begala is already testing it.
Yeah, well, I mean, this is an increased narrative that we're seeing coming out of the Hillary Clinton campaign. You've seen needy Latinos, you've seen the Muslim faith, the Catholic faith. They're constantly attacking Donald Trump for being a racist bigot. But now you see the inner workings of the Clinton campaign through these releases. And surprise, surprise, not only is Hillary Clinton going back on herself and flip-flopping once again, but we're seeing the same stuff that she's criticizing others for.
You know, Richard, some people say about Donald Trump, his biggest flaw is he shows you all of his flaws. He's open about his flaws. I mean, that may be true. And she may be just as flawed as he is, but she hides it better. These WikiLeaks are showing us a different kind of character in the people she surrounds herself with. They're talking about testing how it's going to play that his dad was Muslim and he was raised in a Muslim country. And then she's out there like, oh, it's horrible.
Well, here's the thing, Megan. Politics is a blood sport. So in any tough primary, you're going to have opposition research. I've done opposition research binders before. I've had friends who do them. You do these binders, you test messaging, just in case you need to go there. It's a break in case of emergency. Sometimes candidates break it. Sometimes they don't. When they don't break it, we don't talk about it. When they do break it, we talk about it. Case in point, in 2012, Newt Gingrich ran all these crazy ads against Mitt Romney. A lot of the stuff was true. That came from an Oppo research file where they tested the messaging and they tested it out. And they actually broke it. And they used it. So this happens all the time in campaigns. Does it speak to Hillary Clinton's integrity?
But the soundbite we just played puts the lie to her behavior. And what we've seen in these WikiLeaks mails is she admits she has to say one thing publicly and another thing privately. Not that she has to, but that she chooses to. And what she has said privately is to dismiss Democratic supporters as needy Latinos, and her campaign team has some vicious attacks on Catholics, and we all know that they considered going after Bernie Sanders for his faith at the DNC level during this primary, and now she's thinking about going after Barack Obama for his faith in 2008. I mean, Carl, you could pardon the American public for not giving her the high ground.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is indicative. She is criticizing Trump for far less. And now you see this, and it's like, at what point does the American public say, Hillary Clinton is a liar, and I don't want to vote for her? This is what people are voting against, is they're tired of people flip-flopping, doing one thing behind closed doors, one thing publicly, and then accomplishing nothing once they get elected. This is why people are voting for Donald Trump.
I will say this is what Paul Begala says, who was on the email. He's now a CNN contributor, but he I think is affiliated with the super PAC that helps Democrats. He writes, every campaign and every PAC tests political negatives, potential negatives against the candidate they support. That's all this was. He says this was all about what was going to happen in the general election. In other words, they're trying to put it on, oh, whoever ran against Obama was going to have to hit Obama, so we as Democrats need to figure out what the vulnerabilities were. Richard?
That's absolutely it, Megan. I want to add one other point, and I think that let's be very clear. What Hillary Clinton is doing was what every campaign does. What Donald Trump is doing is what I would call unconventional and straight out weird. He's attacked women. He's attacked African Americans. He's attacked Latinos openly, publicly, unapologetically, not for political poll testing, just because he thinks it's a good ideal. And that's why these two things are different. Hillary Clinton did it for political. And I'm not saying she's right. I'm saying she did it for political motives.
Latinos, the needy ones, and Muslims.
Yeah, but that's not Hillary Clinton.
But then she's done it privately. It's like, that's it. Yeah, but it's all the people she surrounds herself. This is her campaign chairman on these emails.
It's what she's campaigning on Donald Trump being so bad about, but she's doing it herself.
Yeah, because he's doing it openly in public without veil.
All right,
well, now it's hers is public.
Gotta go. Good
Thanks,
to see you.
Megyn.
Good to see you, Megyn.
Well, with 5 days to the first ever Fox News moderated presidential debate, there are growing suggestions it could be the most dramatic showdown of the entire year. I mean, what is going to happen at this thing?